Hey, I'm Milan, and welcome to Volume 2 of the Course Podcast.
And it's Pierre Jerome. Pierre Jerome has plenty of space. Just her and Ben. Pierre Jerome, her second of the
Welcome back to the Course Podcast. I'm your host, Milan Pierre Jerome, and I'm here with pro soccer player Croix Bethune. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. It's good to have you. Good to have you
I'm
on
glad
this
to be
episode.
here.
That's good. But, I think you have a great story, and, I've been following you, and I'm sure a lot of people have been following you as well, and just have been seeing you do great things. So I wanted to have you on this episode and just hear more about your journey, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're from Georgia. Where in Georgia are you from?
So I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but I grew up and was raised in Alpharetta, Georgia. It's about 40 minutes north. So. Okay.
And when you were growing up, was soccer always something you wanted to do? Was it something you were thrown into?
Yeah, so originally my parents put me and my brother in a couple of sports, and soccer was one of those sports since I was like 3 years old. And it's just stuck with me ever since then, honestly.
And was that something that was like a love, or was something that, you had to like grow over time? What was that like?
If you've played soccer, I feel like you understand that there's always that one kid that's running the right way while everyone else is just picking grass or kind of gets the concept.
Yeah.
And I was just that kid that was running with the ball towards the goal and kicking it in. So I feel like it was just kind of natural with me.
And then when you grew up, you said you were playing with your brother. So did he keep playing soccer as well? Would you guys train in the house together?
Yeah, so he played soccer as well, but he didn't necessarily take it as serious as I did. Like, it was more so strictly like fun and just an activity with his friends. Where for me, it was also fun, but like more so competitive with it. So, yeah.
So you knew you had to you compete. This wasn't a joke. Like, no, that's good. And then did you play any other sports? Was it mainly soccer?
Yeah, so I also played basketball and I played, well, you can't play gymnastics, but I did gymnastics in England and tried to run track as well. Okay. But yeah, just gymnastics, soccer, and basketball were really my three.
You said in England? What did you say?
Yeah.
When did you go to England?
So I moved to England when I was about 4 for about 3.5 years. Okay. My parents were in the Air Force, so they got districted out there.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that's a new thing. I don't know if you guys knew that, but okay. So then, when did you feel like you started, getting good and you're really growing? You're like, okay, I could really take this to the next level.
Honestly, when we moved out there, they didn't have any girls teams. Okay. So I was playing and training with strictly boys until they came out with the girls team. Okay. And I feel like that kind of helped me be advanced. And then when we came back, I was training with girls teams and I was kind of ahead for my age. And then once I hit about the age of 13, 12, national team started calling me into camps. And that's when I kind of realized, like, okay, like, this is legit. Especially at that age, I didn't know about national team or anything like that. So it just kind of showed me a different level of soccer and how, like, this is something that I can really take serious.
So once you started getting called up it was 13, you started playing for the youth system. So what was that like? Were you nervous? What was your mindset going into those camps?
Yeah, I was honestly nervous. That was the first time I had nerves because this was new to me. I was also playing a year up, so I'm like, okay, older girls, different environment, something serious. Yeah, it was crazy, honestly. Yeah.
And then as you grew older, were you getting like more confident because you kept going to the camps, you kept playing for them, so it was starting to come to fruition type thing?
Yeah, I got more comfortable just because I kept getting called back due to my performance, so it made me feel like I deserved to be here, or the work I was putting in was working.
And what did that mean to you, just being able to get called back up and having that experience over other girls that you're going home to compete against?
Yeah, it was fun, and after a while, like, I was honored to like represent my country and my crest and just show like a bunch of the girls that either were getting called in or girls that possibly started to look up to me, like that anything is possible. And if you put your work, like if you put the work in, the outcome will always be there.
And when you were playing for those teams and, you know, you were playing for the U.S. and you'd go back to school, was it like, oh, Croix's coming back? Like she said, did you feel that like difference when you were coming home and you're like, okay, like I have to set that standard when I'm stepping on the field with club?
A little bit. My club team was really good. We were really stacked, honestly. So I didn't feel worried leaving them. When I came back, it was more so like, hey, like I'm back. Like, let's keep the energy up. Let's keep the level up. And honestly, if I could help them out or give them any information that I learned from national team, that was also a plus.
So when did you start playing for Concord?
I started playing for Concord. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm thinking about middle school. Okay. Because when I came back from England, I played for a team called Ambush. Okay. Shout out Ambush, my first home. But then we moved to Concord Fire. And
how was that experience playing with those girls? Because that's a top team right there. So how was that?
It was great. I met a bunch of friends, made a bunch of friends. The talent and the level was already advanced. So it was great playing with people that like you can actually play with. Right. And then when we'd go on showcases, it was just great with our performance, honestly, because that team was because you were, that was 01, so you were playing ECNL, and that was a good team. But were you always playing the same position as you were growing up? Were you changing positions? I've kind of always played the same position. I just feel like I was naturally meant to play there.
Have you ever been like thrown into another position? You're like, all right, this isn't going to work.
At camp, I started off as a 6. Which was interesting. I didn't not like it. Because like you kind of facilitate where the ball's going. Right. But also more so wanted to like be on the attack and show off the creative side. So as I got older, I started to like move up in the midfield from like 8 to 10. Yeah.
And when you were playing that 10 role, it's like, okay, I could still go forward, but I'm still like facilitating type thing. Right. Okay, that makes sense. And then as you were going through club, you know, school started looking at you. So when did you start looking into going to college and where you would want to go?
That was also new to me. Like I kind of just played soccer because it was fun and I was good at it. Yeah. And then camps, and then when you go to showcases with clubs, like you see the coaches lined up on the side and they're talking to our coaches. So that was also a good experience just to see that like people were actually here watching us play.
Right. And did you ever have like a dream school when you were going to these showcases? Like, okay, if they're on the side, like, cause I remember when I was playing, like I'd be like, okay, I need them to see so I could like ball out this second. But was there ever like a time when you were like, okay, like I need to make sure I'm playing well for this school? Or like certain schools, you had like a dream school.
Yeah. I did have a dream school, but you can't really pay the people on the sideline any mind because you have a game to play. Yeah. So just always coming out, playing my best, like wanting to win. That was really my main focus.
And then as you were going through the recruiting process, when did you start, you know, going on those visits and really deciding where you would want to go?
Yeah. So at the time when I was in high school, I graduated 2019, but before then, like, with soccer, we did everything so early. We started going on visits like sophomore year of high school, freshman year of high school. So that's kind of when I started to go on visits, and then making my decision like the end of sophomore year, pretty early.
So what were the factors that you needed to have when you were deciding where you wanted to go to school?
Yeah. Since it was such a young age, I would talk to my parents about it and like get their opinion as well. But education is first, of course. So what can the school provide me that I want in the future? The location was a factor for me. I'm from the South. So. Right. And then coaching staff as well. Like you can't pick the school based off of the coaches because that could also change. But while you're there, that's still an important factor.
And then when you were going on those visits, was it hard for you to really decide where you wanted to go, or was it kind of clear?
It was a little difficult, but I did have like my top 2 or 3 in mind that I'm like, okay, like this is where I'm going to narrow it down. And then when I went to visit, it also like gave me a clear path of like, these are the 2 that I'm going to.
So what were those 2?
USC, of course, and then Florida State.
Okay. And what made you decide to go to USC?
It's
what
crazy
sold you?
Because Florida State was my dream school.
Really?
Yeah. And then, I don't know, just when I went to USC, it just felt a lot more like home. And it was just beautiful school, private school, like education is top tier. Yeah.
It was just, and that's crazy because you were saying like, you know, close to home, like sat down south, and then you went to California.
I went across
You're like,
the
forget all that. We're gonna forget what to say. We're gonna go to. No, that's nice. So, you know, when you know something's meant to be, you feel it, and you know you were able to do your thing. So then, once you committed, that was the end of your sophomore year.
Correct.
And how did that feel, being able to like, you know, get that weight lifted off your shoulders?
Yeah. It felt good. It was kind of a done deal. Even though I did have a lot of time still to like change if I wanted to make the change, but I kind of stuck with it and wrote it out, and I felt good about my decision.
That's good. And then as you were, you know, you were still in high school, so you're still doing the U.S. youth system, and you were able to go to like different countries and do different things. So how was that experience, just growing up through that system?
It was great. Like I mentioned before, I lived in England, so I've been to a couple other countries around that country, or like France, Spain. But soccer has really allowed me to travel the world and see things that you would never imagine you could, especially at such a young age. Yeah. I was really just grateful. It was a blessing. So, yeah, being able to go to different countries at such a young age, it was great. Yeah,
you've had so many experiences that, you know, it's just people can't say they've had, and that's amazing that you were able to do that. But so then as you're going through high school, you committed, and then you went to USC. And you did tear your ACL, correct? Yeah. So what happened? How was that rehab process?
We had qualifiers in Nicaragua.
Really?
And there was a civil war going on, so we had to come back to the States, and eventually we played that game at IMG, Florida. Okay. And that's where I tore my ACL. And then coming in freshman year, you know, that wasn't the ideal plan that I had for myself. Right. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm just grateful I was at USC because the PT and the staff and the doctors and everyone I had surrounding me was amazing. And the journey was hard just because I was the type of person that never got hurt. Right. But everyone has a bump in the road. Right. So that was my bump, and I feel like it just made me a lot stronger.
So how were you able to get through that?
Really the PT, my parents, my friends, anyone that was surrounding me that was there for me, they really helped me get through it, because it's not as easy as it might look. Yeah, no, 100%. And you're doing your thing now, so you you made it through, and no, that's amazing, just to be able to have that bump and just see, you know, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So just to be able to see that. But going into college, was that a hard transition from, you know, leaving Georgia to go to California? Was that hard, leaving your family behind? Honestly, no, just because I was going into camp, so I was already always gone. Right. And a lot of the camps were in California, so it's just kind of like I'm used to it. Right. The difference was I'm just living here now. So, yeah. And then were you close with your teammates? Like, how was that? I know, you know, Sade, we love Sade, but we love Sade, so you got to talk about her. But how was just that experience, just going through the system with those girls? I'm grateful, honestly, because a lot of people can't say that their teammates have made it easier. But my teammates were my friends before teammates. I grew up with a lot of them and played with them, so they've also made my journey a lot easier, like Sade and Hannah and a bunch of other people. So, and you have Sade, who like played for Jamaica, and then, you know, you play for the U.S., so it's probably cool just to be able to see, you know, your teammates going to play and do great things. So that's nice to be able to do. And then just going into your freshman year, when you were coming out of that ACL injury, what was your mindset and mentality to just, you know, step onto the field and be ready? Yeah, my mindset was really just take it day by day, because that showed me that anything can happen at any time. Right. But allowing the PT and the process that I went through, trusting it and knowing that I'm capable of being the old me or the more and improved me. And do you feel like you came back stronger? Did you feel your knee? Because when I came out of ACL surgery, my knee felt like a brand new knee. So did you feel like, was that just me, or did you feel like that too? Yeah, but about 11 months out, I tore it again. Okay, wow. Sophomore year. And then COVID hit. Okay. So I kind of thank COVID because it gave me a lot more time to like rejuvenate and bounce back again. Right. So, yeah, it was like a time where you could just like focus on you know, you had your own time to just do your rehab on your own pace. So, you know, blessing in disguise. Yeah.
So then did you have to go home during COVID?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we went home for about a month or two.
Okay.
And then was able to come back.
Okay. So then you came back in the fall? Was that in the fall
we
you
came back so we had to go home around March.
Okay.
And then we came back June.
Okay.
July-ish.
Okay. And then you were able to play that next season.
Right.
So then was that next season when you were able to start playing for USC?
Yeah, so we actually had to, that season, so August.
Okay.
So we came back June, July, August. That season was canceled in California.
Okay.
But we did make that up in January.
Okay.
So we had 2 seasons in 1 year.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so were you able to play that spring?
Yeah.
Okay. So how was, there's a lot of time right now. Okay. So then that spring is when you started to play.
Correct.
And how long was from your second surgery was that?
About almost 2 years, honestly, because of COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were out playing. You haven't played a game in 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
A long time.
She just scored in the 95th minute. No, I'm playing, but that's amazing. So you came back, and that year you did amazing. You got first team, rookie team, Mac Herman semifinalist. So, those 2 years you were able to really build up the knee, your confidence. So what was your mindset going into that first season?
That first season was really just let's see how this goes. Let's try the knee out and trust what I've been doing. I did feel strong. I wore a brace that season. So it was really just kind of a trial for me, but also this is still business to handle.
Right.
And then going into our actual season, that's where I was okay, I feel great. This is time to ball out and really show.
So once you went into that next season, which was the fall, did you feel like a leader? Did you feel like you were really, setting the tone every day?
Yeah, I did feel like a leader just because I was a junior at that time and I was bouncing back, and I felt like a lot of my friends were also kind of coming off injuries, so we were all in this together. But yeah.
So how did that season go once you were a junior?
That season went great. Balled out that season. Like you said, Mac Herman. But as a team, we did great that season. So it felt good to get it under my belt.
Yeah. And then once you were at school, going outside of soccer, did you the education, the student life? Were you a fan of all of that?
Yeah, the education was great. COVID kind of changed a lot, but it was still great to get around and be in LA. The campus was beautiful, and if I wanted to go to the beach, go to the beach. If I wanted to get away, there was a lot of things and options to do. Was it
a different transition after COVID? Were there still restrictions or no?
Yeah, California was a state where there were a lot of restrictions still. With the masks and everything, but you could still maneuver.
Okay. Yeah. So then after that, you started to look, and you played for Georgia. And why did you decide to transfer to Georgia?
I transferred because I tore my ACL the third time.
Wow.
Yeah, senior year.
Okay.
So I was at the before the tear, I was deciding whether to go pro or to use another year, and that injury kind of made the decision for me. Okay. So then I transferred to UGA.
Okay. And how was that? That's wow. And how was that third tear? How were you able to get through that?
It wasn't really shocking just because of with the new staff and what was happening at the time. But I more so kind of took it to the chin just because I've been here before and knew what was going on. So I just wanted to get the process going to get strong again.
Just knowing that you've been through it. So just being, that makes sense. So then once you were deciding where you wanted to transfer, why Georgia?
Georgia because it was home. Georgia because the old staff at SC was there.
Okay.
Georgia because I knew what I was getting in a sense of health, strength,
right,
and thinking about my next journey, which was pro.
Right. Okay. So then once you got to Georgia and you were able to do the things you did at Georgia too, you won the SEC championship, which is crazy. But once you were able to do that, how was that transition from USC to Georgia?
It was easy simply because I was going home and I also knew what I was getting.
Right.
people typically didn't look to Georgia to go play soccer, so I also wanted to put Georgia on the map and put on for my city and show the young girls in Georgia and also all over the country that, like, yeah, Georgia soccer is something to look at, especially with the staff there. They also wanted to change that image that people had on it, so really just show everyone, like, this is Georgia soccer, and you should come be a part of it because it's growing. Right. And you were able to turn that around and just really be a mark and being able to make them a SEC champion. But, you know, just how you guys played. You guys always played as a team. It was never at times you obviously have to be selfish. But what do you think went behind going into that, your team play? The group of girls there were amazing. Like, putting soccer aside, they're amazing young women. They're sweet, they're nice, they're fun. Me stepping on campus, I felt welcomed as soon as I got there. So I feel like the chemistry they had off the field really made it easier for us on the field, with all the simple things like communication or team bonding. Like, nothing felt forced. So. And was that like a goal? Were you going into Georgia like, okay, I want to win an SEC championship, or was that something that just happened? Yeah, we had goals set. And then again with the staff, like, I loved them so much. So they were there for 1 year and already changed it around. So I'm like, okay, like, look what y'all did with 1 year. Second year, like, this is what we're going to do. And we made it happen. So then once you were getting your master's there, how was the education side at Georgia? Education is great. Georgia's actually a really great school, education-wise. And for me, I was getting a certificate, so I didn't have that many classes. But still, like, with the entrepreneurship side, I learned a lot. And did you like student life there too? You know, got to check both. Yeah, it was actually the campus is different there compared to SC. Like, you can drive around, whereas SC, it's kind of closed in. But yeah, student life was cool. And how far were you from, like, home? About 40 to an hour. Oh, wow. So so your family was there every game. So, that's good. You really went home. That was good. No, good for you. And then, you know, going into the tournament and when you were going through the NCAAs, what was your mindset every game? Did you have, like, a superstition you had to do before every game? Like, what was going on with that? Yeah, I have a superstition, so I have to shower before the game and then blue Gatorade. And then I always have to listen to music, so I start off with, like, R&B, slow, just to, you know, calm vibes, and then change it to some, like, rap and hip-hop to, like, get locked in. Do you have, like, a specific song you have to listen to, or specific songs, or it's just, like, whatever happens? Yeah, whatever happens. All right, because I know some people, they got to listen to, like, 2 specific songs before they play a game. And I'm not mad at them, but, you know, some people got to do what they got to do. Yeah, whatever works for them. Yeah. And then, you know, you got it on, so let's talk about your style, because I know you always have an outfit before a game. So what would you describe your style as? You know, they call me Mrs. Put It On. Or whatever. Or whatever. No, but I like fashion. I like clothes, and it honestly just shows the other side of me, how, like, creative I can be off the field as well. Whatever I feel like putting on that day, that's kind of what I'm gonna go with. So Mrs. Put It On, whatever she feel like put it on, she gonna put it. She gonna put it on. Do you have, like, an inspiration, like a fashion, like, icon? There are a couple people on Instagram that, like, I'm like, okay, like, I like what she's wearing, that's fly. Or even guys, you know, because clothes are for anyone. It doesn't matter what gender it is. Like, you wear what you want to wear. Yeah. So. Sometimes I would go to the men's section before I go to the female section. You know, they have some good stuff, so I'm not mad at you. That's a fact. These probably men's pants. No, I'm saying no, there's definitely a good selection from both standpoints. But no, I love the fit. Thank you. But going back to Georgia, how was winning the SEC championship? How did that feel? It was great. I'm glad I could help some of the girls that were there already, like, win something that they've been dreaming of. And just all of them working so hard every day to put in the work to get here. Like, we really made it happen. So it was a great experience, especially when you write your goals down and they come true. It was cool. So that was your final year left of eligibility? I have 1 more year left. Okay, so you have 1 more. So you decided to go professional. Correct. And what was the route and why you wanted to do that? I just felt like it was time. 5th year, I was a grandma, and this has been my dream since I can even think of. So, yeah, just it was time.
Yeah, it was it was good. And when you were deciding to go pro, was it hard to leave your teammates at Georgia? How was that?
It was hard. They wanted me to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really could come back.
Yeah.
Pros and cons list.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like it kind of overweighed to where it was like, I'm ready for the next level.
Yeah. And so when you're going into the process of training and, going to the draft, what was going through your head? Were you nervous? What were your thoughts?
I was more so anxious just because sitting there at the draft, it's like it comes full circle, and almost had some tears come down because I'm like, dang, like everything I've been through, all the work I've put in, like I'm really here.
Yeah. I'm getting chills, like 3 ACL tears, 3rd pick in the NWSL. Listen, if you don't keep going on, like you always got to keep pushing, but that's amazing. So when you were at the draft and you were with your family and your name was called, how did that feel?
It just felt relieved. Like, dang, like I really just got drafted.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Yeah, and then you got your pictures. And we got to put a picture of how she looked here. There's got to be a picture somewhere so y'all can see how she looked. But did you celebrate? Like, how was your I know you're getting calls left and right from your teammates. How was that?
Yeah, it was just great to see, like, my supporters, just my friends, family, showing love to me and that they were tuned in. Like, that felt great. And then celebrating with my parents, and my best friend was also there, so that was a lot of fun.
That's nice. And then it was go time. So then once you got drafted, when did you decide when did you when did you have to come for training for Washington Spirit?
Yeah, so we came out in like early January, and just to get situated and settled and get ready for training camps.
And how was that process, going into, because this is a new area for you, right. So how was that?
It was a quick turnaround, but the staff here, they've made it really easy for me, and just made me feel comfortable. And then Virginia, it's really nice over here, so everything I need is literally here. So.
And what has been your mindset, or what was your mindset going into the first trainings, setting yourself apart? What was your mindset with that?
Really just take it day by day, and every day is a choice. Everything is a choice. So deciding to make the choice to be here, to be great, and give 110% every day.
Were you ever like leaning on someone to like look up to, because there's different age ranges within the NWSL, so was there someone you were looking up to, like getting feedback or anything like that?
Yeah, day by day. I mean, communication is the best key, especially since we're all going to be playing with each other. So if we see stuff that, like, for example, if Hatch saw something that I can improve on, she would come to me and we'd talk about it, or vice versa. Yeah.
And so you were able to just like have that communication. That's good. That's good. And then as you're going into, over time, you're training, you're going to play your first game. So what was that mindset going into the first game?
The first game, also anxious, just because it's like first pro game. It's finally here. Right. But we came for business. So I feel like for me, I don't really like get nervous or have to be shy. It's another game. But really just coming in, wanting to win and perform.
And so when you saw you were going to play and you saw you were about to do your thing, were you ready? Like, how did you, I mean, obviously you're ready, you're coy, but like, how were you really like setting your mind on, okay, I'm about to play in my first professional debut game, and how were you going into that?
With my routine.
Okay.
But then just like flipping the script in my head, like a mental game, like first pro game. Don't think about it too much, but just go out there and do your thing. And
then once you got the first pass, were you good? Everything was.
I was like, okay, like we're here.
We're good. We're gonna do our thing. Okay. So what was going through your mind through the game?
Trying to just with our game plan, just seeing it out on the field, and then seeing how they're playing, and then figure it out from there.
And then you were tied 1-1.
Yeah,
we got to the 95th minute. And you scored. Yeah. How did that feel?
It felt great. I was just like, like in the back of the head, like, like let's go.
Yeah.
But more so just proud of the team, like coming off of our first game. You could see our chemistry like has grown since that game to our home game. So it's just amazing to see like how we're blending and that we got the dub at home.
Yeah. Did you look to your fan? Like what was going your professional debut scoring the winning goal was crazy. Yeah. So like were you like running everywhere? What was going on?
I honestly couldn't believe it, but I'm like, that was just a game winner.
You won the game.
Yeah, I just screamed, and the first person I saw was Anna, so just giving her a big hug. And I love how the rest of my teammates, even our goalkeeper Obs, ran all the way up, just like a group hug. It felt good.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And so just going forward, I know we're still in the season, but what are your goals personally and as a team moving forward?
Personally, just take it day by day. I try not to look too far because honestly, that's out of my hands. But each day to get better. Yeah. Each game, of course, we want to win. But as long as we perform, and then with the team, of course, we want to win. You know, but as long as our chemistry is there and we continue to play better as a team, that's what really matters.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a lot of people, whether it's in Georgia or just all over the U.S. or anywhere, they're looking up to you. So would you have like any piece of advice for like little girls or even now people our age to offer?
Be you, no matter what anyone has to say. Be you, because you're the best version of yourself, and anything is possible. Anything. Put your dreams to it. Write down your goals, and I promise you will accomplish them.
No, that was amazing. But it's been great having you on the episode. I hope you had a good time.
Had a blast. We're over here kikiing. So.
Good. No, good. But is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything on your mind? No. Okay, good. But it's been great having you, and we all wish you luck on your next game, the rest of the season. For sure, you're gonna kill it. But thank you again for being on the episode.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Good. Well, that's it for today. Make sure you guys follow Croix on all of her socials. It'll be attached, and follow us and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.